Lionel Polar Express O-gauge, Working on the Railroad, Episode 3. In this episode, we're going to be building a sledding hill on our layout to go along with a Lionel figure pack of kids engaged in winter activities. There'll also be a skating pond at it, and we're going to get started right now. Hi, I'm Owen, and in these videos I'm continuing to build, expand, and improve my Lionel Polar Express model train layout in O-gauge. In this video we're going to be building a sledding hill. I've made a little start on it by putting down some of the XPS foam and building up an area and then covering it with plaster cloth. In this video we're going to plaster the hill, and we're going to continue to completion of that hill. We're also going to make a start, maybe even finish, creating a skating pond. I bought a few more figure packs from Lionel, and these figure packs include people engaged in wintertime activities like skating and sledding, and so we're going to have a place for that. We also have a couple of skiers, but I think I'm going to make them cross-country skiers. And then we have a couple in a one-horse open sleigh. So I've got to build a road that will be appropriate for that sleigh to traverse. And maybe I'll do that by connecting one of the other winter features with this new sleigh path that I'm going to be putting down. So I'm going to get started on that, and we'll take you along for the ride. If you've already subscribed to this channel, thanks for your support. I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, now would be a great time to do it. Click the subscribe button down below and click the thumbs up and give this video a like. I really appreciate that support. This is the beginning of the sledding hill. I've put down the XPS foam and used foam tack glue to glue that to the surface of the table, and glue 3 sheets, one on top of each other, with a little setback between each one. Then I put plaster cloth over it, which you can see covering it now. I need to move on to putting plaster on that right now, and that will cover it up and smooth it all out. I think I'm going to be running the one-horse open sleigh trail right along here in this area. I've added some soft flake snow and some additional brush over this area. The brush is a product that comes from Woodland Scenics. It's called dry briar patch, or dead briar patch, and it looks pretty good. I also added some soft flake snow over this hill on the other side of the railroad track, and I added some trees on it, some small dead trees on it that enhance the look of that area. So all in all, I'm pretty pleased with how this is turning out. The soft flake snow will get brushed around a little bit more after it has a chance to dry thoroughly, and then that will end up looking quite natural on the layout. We can take a look from underneath the elevated track and get a better idea of how that soft flake snow looks against that rock face there, the railroad cut in the hillside, and I think it turns out quite well. The other hill looks also quite well when you get close up to it. This is the progress on the sledding hill. I've got the Hydrocal Plaster over it, and that will dry overnight. I think I may put some more on tomorrow. I'm going to need to go further out from the hill to complete this landscape area in any case, so I'll be adding more tomorrow. And then once that's cured fully, I'll do the soft flake snow over that area as well. I have 3 new figure packs from Lionel that I'm going to be putting on my layout. The first is the people on a sleigh, and this is actually pretty cool looking. 2 people, a one-horse open sleigh, and the horse. This is kids on sleds, and there are 3 sleds and 3 kids that will be going on the sledding hill that I've just built. And then here are winter action figures, and I've got 2 skiers and 4 skaters. And these will be going on the pond that I'm going to create, a skating pond I'm going to create on the layout. And the skiers will be cross-country skiers, because I really don't have a place to put a hill for alpine skiing. These are going to go on the layout in the next few days, all of these figures, and I'll include them in this video. I've decided to create my skating pond right next to the church and close to the railroad tracks. This is going to be a several step process. The first step is that I used pave tape to encircle the area. The next step will be to fill in along the outside of that pave tape with Hydrocal Plaster. I'm going to mix that up and I'm going to put the Hydrocal against the outside of that pave tape in order to create an elevation, and then the step after that will be to use flex paste in order to waterproof the inside of it. So I have to let the Hydrocal dry, I have to remove the pave tape, and then I have to use flex paste to fill in the interior, to line the interior so that it will be leak proof. And then after I've done that, once that flex paste is dried, I'll be painting the bottom of it with a underwater paint color from Woodland Scenics. And then the final step will be to pour realistic water in and let that realistic water cure. After that's cured, I'll be able to sprinkle a little bit of soft flake snow around the edges of it to simulate an ice-covered pond. And that's going to be my skating pond. It's time to remove the masking tape and the pave tape from my skating rink area and see how it turned out. Let's get started. To remove the pave tape now, I'm going to need to use a knife and score around the top of it so that I can get it out without crushing too much of the plaster that surrounds the area. The next step in building the skating pond is to use this deep blue underwater coat paint from Woodland Scenics on the bottom of the pond. I put this underwater paint on very, very thickly because in addition to the flex paste for sealing the bottom, this underwater paint also helps to seal the bottom. I need to allow a full 24 hours for the paint that I put on the skating pond to dry. The underwater paint needs to be thoroughly dried before I go to the next step of pouring realistic water. So I've got that time to do some other chores on the layout. And what I'm going to tackle next is putting some foliage on these trees. I added these little trees to this little hillside in order to make it more realistic looking. First step in getting the foliage on them is to put on hobby tack glue. This is going to go on white, but don't worry about that. It will dry clear, a matte clear finish. And when it's dry, I can then add the foliage to these trees, and that will make them look like realistic wintertime trees. I finally reached the point where I'm ready to pour realistic water into the ice skating rink, and I'm going to do that right now. A couple of points with realistic water. One, you never want to shake it. You do not want to get bubbles in it because those bubbles will then be in whatever you're using it to fill. Second thing is you need to pour slowly and only do about a 1/16 of an inch per pour. and then you need to allow time for that to cure. So we're going to go ahead and do our first pour right now. Okay, that goes in looking very cloudy and opaque, but it will dry completely clear. Been working on this area here, adding plaster, and I added some snowbanks on the side of a trail yesterday using flex paste to create snowbanks. Before I actually put any figures down in this area, I'm going to use white paint to make the plaster appear much brighter. I have this area of the layout shielded now, and I'm going to be putting Soft Flake Snow down. The first step will be to spray scenic cement over the area, and then I'll come behind that with the shaker for the Soft Flake Snow and put that over the whole area. The final step after I put the Soft Flake Snow down is to come back over the area one more time and mist it again with scenic cement. Well, we've done a lot of work on a lot of different areas on the layout over the last few days, and now we're coming to my favorite part of every video. I'm going to run the trains. Well, that'll do it for this video, folks. Lots of work done on the railroad, lots more work to do, lots more videos coming in the future. So now would be a great time. Hit the subscribe, and so you don't miss any future videos. Click the thumbs up down below, like this video, and share it on social media or share it with anyone else you know who's interested in model railroading. Thanks for watching.